Fixed-gear bikes are Brunn's preferred way of moving from point A to point B in Beijing. The two-wheel fashion statements are also becoming increasingly popular among young Chinese city dwellers. True fixie lovers, however, remain rare.
They buy bikes because they think they're pretty to look at. They put them in their house to show off and only ride them occasionally.
Brunn counters that by arranging a variety of events that emphasize sport over style. The annual Fixed Gear Revolution is one of the highlights. The annual race attracts more than 1,000 riders each year and has become the largest fixed-gear bicycle competition in China. Brunn is the founder of the contest, and she's also one of its major sponsors.
Because our customers often, they buy a first bike and then they come back, the first things they might change would be the tires, then they might change the saddle, the handlebar, then they might have a full new back wheel built up. So kind of people change over time, they buy a new frame. So it's hard to count in bikes or anything, but of course our income, the revenues have gone up year over year.
Natooke uses promotional and cultural events to help expand its business. And keeping up with the trends to make customers happy can be quite the challenge. Yang Hongxing does it by arranging skateboard competitions and lessons to maintain and widen his customer base. Skateboarding is different from other sports. Young people like us don't think of it in terms of profit. Our instructors don't charge any tuition fees. They just want to spread the culture. Trendy sporting events are essential ways for businesses like Natooke and Burning Ice to gain a foothold in the community. The shops are also picky about who they work with.
They were selling sneakers before, and now they wanted to do bikes. And they couldn't convince me that they would really be transmitting my message. For them, it was just about selling bikes and using my name to do that, and rejected.
You have to skate to understand what makes a good skateboard and what its best uses are. Only then will you be able to sell the right thing to my customers. And so the dreams continue. Brunn opened her second Natooke shop in Chengdu in 2012 and aims to turn even more Chinese onto her beloved fixies. Yang, meanwhile, has a different goal. He's registered his own trademark and hopes to skate past being just a distributor to marketing his own brands and boards.
Let's talk about Natooke's marketing strategies, Professor, because I feel this is the selling the experience point that you mentioned earlier. It doesn't spend that much money on traditional advertising venues, but instead it hosts biking competitions and sponsors other sporting events. What do you think? Smart moves?
I think it's a very good marketing strategy, because a defining feature of sports is that it's a group activity where sharing and competing are critical elements. It's not so much fun playing sports alone. So if you are interested in fixed gear bikes, it's only natural that you want to go out and find other people who share your common interest and who you can play with and interact with from time to time. So this is essentially the concept of consumption community, where the feelings of community and the sense of belonging are built upon a common consumption behavior or pattern. And once you can successfully create this consumption community, then you have a very high customer stickiness, and this community will just keep on draw more and more people in, over time. And once you have a stable customer base, then as owners of business, you can actually do a lot more and find more creative ways to make profits.
In terms of potential roadblocks to these companies, I feel both companies have a perception issue that they need to deal with. The bicycle, can it be revived again as perhaps a status symbol or a cool product again, right? The skateboard here in China still has a very rebellious connotation. So both companies have image issues they need to deal with, Professor, I feel. Can they change this perception, number one, and can it change this perception into a positive image and take a negative, perhaps, image and use that to its advantage?
That's an interesting question, Michael, because I grew up riding bicycles all the time to school, and now come to think of it, when I was riding bicycles, I never actually thought that bicycling was cool. And I think it's going to take a long time for people to actually change their mindset about bicycles. But having said that, I think fixed gear bikes may actually have a shot at changing the perceptions, especially among the youth, if it's able to revive the subculture behind it. So the so-called fixie culture, I think that's what it's called, it means having a style, being free, enjoy your freedom, being confident, being creative, and these values actually resonate very well with the youth in China. So if the fixed gear bikers can successfully instill these values among the youth in China, I think they will be able to successfully attract more people to enjoy fixed gear biking just because they share the same value and the same way of life.
All right, let's go a little bit bigger. Let's talk about something even more ambitious, because the founder of Natooke, Ines Brunn, wants to revive the bike culture overall, right, in the former kingdom of bicycles as China is known. Do you think on its way to reviving the bicycle, this product can potentially change the perception of an entire city?
So given the pollution situation in China, the Chinese government is now putting forth a number of new policies and new measures to fight back the pollution, also to promote a green economy, right? So for example, the government in Beijing is restricting the usage of cars on a daily basis. So I think this is actually a perfect time for people to revisit the idea of biking, right, and to become more environmentally alert or aware. In the short term, at least, I think it's going to be difficult for companies like Natooke or fixed gear bikers to change the perception of the entire city or the country, especially in the metropolitan areas, because now people, they're working under great pressure, so they still choose convenience and efficiency over environment protection. So I think there will be a long way to go, but at least we're seeing a good start.
Well, Professor, I certainly hope that the bicycle can once again be a new status symbol for the socially conscious individual here in Beijing in particular, as we deal with sort of maybe the smoggy air issue. Thank you, as always, for your insights, Professor.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, so for Natooke and Burning Ice, their founders' passions are gradually building up the company. Increasingly here in China, we are seeing a new generation of entrepreneurs not driven simply by their bottom lines, but also an extreme dedication to the quality of their products and how their businesses may impact society and their local communities. Once again, do follow us on Weibo, WeChat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to share your thoughts. And if you have an interesting business case to tell, make sure to email us at newmoney@cctv.com. Thanks for joining us this week on New Money. We'll see you again next week.